Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I request all delegates, panel members, dignitaries to please come to the hall and please be seated so that we can start well on time.
All right, good evening. Our suggestion to the organizing team was to have more time dedicated for networking and less for all the interesting panel discussions. And I think it's working out well. Are we still having people outside? Shall we wait? We will? All right. What is not working? Net is not. All right, net is not working. We will make networking inside now. Thank you. Thanks for everyone for being here on a lovely, cold Hyderabad evening. A warm welcome to all of you. It's been quite interestingly cold in the last week, 10 days in Hyderabad. But we try to bring in a lot of warmth through very interesting discussions. We're welcoming you to a wonderful session on leadership in a changing world, driving strategy, digital transformation, and GCC growth. On behalf of both FTCCI and IMA, I welcome you all. And in interest of time, since we have already started late, we will hurry up a little. Even for the panel sessions that we have, we are requesting you guys, one or two of us will be having those bells in hand. So we will not extend beyond 30 minutes. Yeah. First of all, let me begin the session with lamp lighting. And I request the following dignitaries to come towards the lamp and then follow up to the dais as well. From FTCCI, if I can request Mr. Ravi Kumar, President FTCCI, Mr. KK Maheshwari, Senior Vice President FTCCI, and Mr. Srini Garimella, Vice President FTCCI. If you can walk towards the lamp, please. And from IMA, can I request Mike DePrisco, President IMA, and Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, Chair Emeritus IMA, to be around the lamp, please. And can we have somebody with the candle and the candle for the team as well?
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपज्योतिर्परब्रह्म दीपज्योतिर्जनार्दनः दीपो हरतु मे पापम्
Thank you. Thanks for initiating and inaugurating this session. Can I request the team to play the AV for FTCCI, please?
Hyderabad, a confluence of cultures, a bridge between tradition and modernity, and a city with a timeless allure. While the world grappled with conflict in 1917, a pivotal moment quietly unfolded here. A group of visionary leaders came together to form the Deccan Chamber of Commerce, which began as a spark but went on to shape the destiny of an entire region. With a legacy spanning over a century, this institution is now known as the Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FTCCI. FTCCI has become the cornerstone of industrial and economic progress of Hyderabad, which has emerged as a global hub for information technology, pharmaceuticals, aerospace, and other key industries. FTCCI champions a pro-business ecosystem not just in Telangana, but across the nation. It addresses the real-time needs of direct and indirect members through expert committees led by seasoned professionals. FTCCI contributes to state-level advisory committees, publishes white papers and journals, and provides research that drives decision-making. Its Skill Development Center conducts programs that empower both individuals and industries. FTCCI has adopted 15 government ITIs to ensure that Telangana's workforce remains competitive and work-ready through bridging skill gaps. The services of FTCCI include issuing of Certificate of Origin, visa recommendation letters for business travel, consultancy services in GST compliances, and guidance for aspiring entrepreneurs. It also enables global collaboration that positions Telangana as a happening business destination. Each year, FTCCI honors outstanding business achievements through its annual Excellence Awards that span 20 categories, including HR Excellence. These accolades recognize innovation, resilience, and best practices that motivate industries to strive for greater impact and growth. FTCCI invites you to be part of a dynamic, trailblazing organization. Join the movement to ignite entrepreneurial spirit, empower businesses, and drive India towards self-reliance. The future is ours to shape. Let's realize it together.
Thank you. Thanks for that. And what we are going to also try to do today as part of sustainability, Vivek, is save our energies in clapping hands. So we'll clap only when I request you guys to clap, right? Okay. So, all right. So while we get started, I request all the dignitaries to please grace the dais in the order of Mr. Ravi Kumar, Mr. K.K. Maheshwari, Mr. Srini Garimella, Mr. Mike DePrisco, and Mr. Sunil Deshmukh. And this time around, please clap your hands. Thank you. A warm welcome to all of you. And as we start, can I request President FTCCI, Mr. Ravi Kumar, for the inaugural welcome and setting the context. And the topic we have chosen is very interesting, FTCCI's role in Telangana's industrial and GCC growth. Over to you, Mr. Ravi Kumar. Please clap.
Good evening, one and all, and good evening, all the dignitaries who have come from IMA, Michael and Sunil, and my colleagues on the dais, and also Srinivas Garimella and K.K. Maheshwari ji, and our mentors and past president is also here, a few of them, Mr. Shekhar Agarwal, and one of our senior MC member, Mr. Irshad is here, few of my colleagues are here, Sanyasi Rao is here, and all the people who have gathered here. And this is GCC. I was told about the topic just now, 10 seconds back. Till then I didn't know about my topic, what I need to speak. But however, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed panelists, and delegates and colleagues, good evening and a very warm welcome to each one of you. It's my privilege on behalf of the Federation of Telangana Chamber of Commerce and Industry along with our co-host, the Institute of Management Accountants IMA USA, to inaugurate this significant conference of leadership, strategic, digital transformation and GCC growth. We meet at a time when the world is undergoing deep shifts. Technology is reshaping industries, global delivery models are being reinvented, and GCC have become the backbone of enterprise transformation. And there is no better city than Hyderabad to hold this conversation, because I was just going through something this morning, and Hyderabad happened to be the #1 in the country where a lot of GCCs have got opened up in recent times. And India's national capital of global capability center happens to be right now Hyderabad. Over the past few years, Hyderabad has transformed itself from a promising tech city to a national capital of capability centers. Recent reports show that in 2025, about 46% of the new GCCs nationwide have been started in Hyderabad. That's a big thing. I think, Manish, you can tell them to clap now. Prestigious organizations such as EY, Deloitte, Mass Mutual, TCS, Tesco, and Reckitt, among many others, have chosen Hyderabad as their center for leadership and capability building. Their presence here is not only a testimony to the city's talent pool and infrastructure, but also an endorsement of Hyderabad's vision and governance. I don't know how many of you know, in a simple language, if I need to tell you, I was just sharing with one of them when we were having tea. This is one city in the country where you go to any residential apartment place, you'll find the entire country in the apartments. That's the beauty of Hyderabad. You have everyone in that, which is not true with most of the cities, but Hyderabad it is true. So this is a place where once people come, they settle down, most of them. And coming to FTCCI legacy, as he has asked, Manish has asked me to share with you, it started in 1917, as you have seen the film, and it's gone through all the rigmaroles and the giant wheel, it's gone up and down. And it's been a wonderful journey for FTCCI, where it played a major role as Deccan Chamber or FAPC or FATAPC or FTCCI now with the government. And we played a major role with government, industry and global partners also, to shape policy frameworks, accelerate industrial growth, support MSME and manufacturing, promote global business linkages, enable skill development and entrepreneurship, facilitate trade, investment, technology and innovation. And coming to today, we take another important step, FTCCI IMA partnership for upskilling and talent expansion. I'm delighted to share that the FTCCI, in collaboration with the Institute of Management IMA, to expand high-quality upskilling programs in finance, strategies, and digital capability development. The MOU, we are planning to sign one MOU. The MOU reflects our shared commitment to build future-ready finance and strategic professionals, support GCCs with world-class talent, connect global certification pathways with regional industry needs. This partnership aligns perfectly with today's conference theme, Leadership in the Changing World. As Manish was sharing, the main topics for today are from support to strategy, India's strategic edge, AI, analytic and agility. As President of FTCCI, I invite all the leaders present, industry experts, strategists, financial professionals, technologists and academicians to use this platform to share knowledge, exchange ideas, and collectively shape the future of global center. And as we are talking of MOU, probably FTCCI would like to become a GCC by opening a branch in US, if you allow us, so that we can cater to the Indian settled there or the American settled there who would like to come to Hyderabad, and we'll work as a GCC there. Probably you can look into it, sir. We are ready for it. On behalf of FTCCI, I extend my gratitude to all partners, sponsors, panelists, and attendees for making this event possible. Thank you for joining us. Let us work together to create impact, inspire innovation, and lead in this changing world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Yeah, I think one of the most welcoming city, I would say. I came back in 2004, I think, and it's not just me. I pulled in at least 30, 40 more people. Few of them are sitting here on the first few tables as well. So one of the most amazing cities, Hyderabad, and now the GCC capital this year, gentlemen and ladies. Let me also request for a very interesting keynote from Mike DePrisco, President and CEO IMA. Mike, over to you.
Thank you. I think I have a presentation. Do I have control of it?
IMA is a community of professionals in accounting and finance with shared vision and values. With about 140,000 members in over 150 countries around the world, IMA has a global presence with local identity in each of the regions we serve. Every IMA member contributes to this community in ways large and small. Some serve as volunteer leaders, others create a sense of community through their participation in IMA events, including regional annual conferences, women's leadership summits, chapter networking events, the Student Leadership Conference, and charitable initiatives that benefit their local communities. Through its members, IMA creates a close-knit sense of belonging no matter where in the world you are located. IMA empowers and inspires its members to reach new heights in their careers and lives. Members use IMA as a networking platform and as a source for relevant, continuing education. Many members find new jobs through other IMA members and seek out advice from their peers when considering career moves or when facing challenges at work. Young professionals find IMA especially valuable. Because of its members, the IMA Global Organization is a trusted community where professionals learn, grow, and thrive alongside one another. We encourage you to look into joining your local IMA chapter or attending an IMA event this year. No matter who you are or where you are located, you can find a community to call your own at IMA.
Okay. All right, we'll see if we can get this to work. So good evening. Thank you, sirs, Mr. Kumar, for inviting me and being a partner for tonight's event. I arrived to Delhi on Monday and been spending the last couple days, Delhi, Mumbai, and now here, and off to Bangalore tomorrow. Getting an opportunity to meet with many of our members, our certification holders, volunteers, and partners. So it's a real pleasure for me to be here this evening. Okay, so for those of you that don't know a whole lot about IMA, the video provided a little bit of an introduction. I joined IMA as its president and CEO back in 2023. We are a global organization. We were founded over 106 years ago, in 1919 actually in the US. But over the past 10, 15 years, we have really become a global organization. And we now have members and certification holders in almost 150 countries around the world. India is our fastest growing market and one of our top 3 markets in the world, along with the US, China, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. So we're very excited about the work that we're doing here in India. We have great team members, certification holders here, and we look forward to our continued sustainability, growth, and partnership with many organizations here and government organizations within India. And I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Hyderabad, but from what I can see, it is a very nice and welcoming and warm city, and hopefully I'll have an opportunity to spend more time in the future. We represent accounting and finance professionals who work in business. So in public accounting, you find tax, audit, and compliance focus areas. What we do is we're focused on value creation, strategy, internal control, risk, strategic decision-making, financial statements, FP&A, all the different functions that make an organization move forward and support the achievement of organization goals and objectives. That's what we focus on. And we have a certification called the CMA, which is a standard for management accounting around the world. It's been in place for over 50 years. So part of what we do as a professional association that represents management accounting and the practice of management accounting is we do research, and we stay close to what's happening in industry. And it probably doesn't surprise you that what we've been hearing from industry about some of the talent gaps that exist, not only here in India, but elsewhere in the world, is a serious, I think, wake-up call for all of us about the importance of upskilling, the importance of training, the importance of professional development, because the profession is at a pivot point. The profession of accounting and finance is at a pivot point. It's changing rapidly, and being enabled, this change is being enabled through new technology, automation, machine learning, AI, an emphasis on data and data analytics, sustainability, cybersecurity, enterprise risk. And if you survey the landscape and talk to organization leaders, one of their biggest concerns continues to be whether or not the people that they have in their organization have the right skills and capabilities needed to meet the moment and meet the challenges that organizations have as it relates to these skills. Next slide, please. So these trends that we're seeing intersect with the skills gap in a meaningful way. And I wanted to take a minute to highlight this. We are seeing a transformation of the CFO role from being primarily focused on compliance to shifting to a focus on strategy and looking forward. And I'm going to talk a little bit about this in just a minute. But in India in particular, Ernst & Young CFO surveys 72% of CFOs are now working on digital initiatives. So the role of the CFO in organization is changing at a rapid pace, and the skills and capabilities CFOs need to lead is changing as well. Of course, we all know AI and analytics is changing. Thank you. Okay. I'm not sure if that helps, but we'll see how it goes. AI and analytics is certainly becoming more and more important as organizations are relying on data that exists in their organizations, both structured data and unstructured data, to help drive decision making. Sustainability reporting, of course, is something that's becoming more and more important, particularly here in India, as new regulations are in place. Required and mandated financial reporting is one way that organizations are able to demonstrate the public trust and the fact that we're being good stewards of the environment and good stewards of our business practices. So the upskilling momentum is starting to build, and certainly here in India, the national education policy is driving a lot of upskilling activity. And IMA is responding to that need as well through a variety of our programs and services, which I'll cover in just a second. Next slide, please. These trends are also intersecting with GCCs, and certainly being here, the capital of GCCs, I think it's key that we talk a little bit about how these trends are impacting GCCs. We know the economic impact of GCCs here in India is huge, and it's continued. The trend is continued growth over the next 5 years to over 100 billion impact from a economic impact. Continued job growth, of course, leading to or a need for 2.5 million people working in GCCs. And then we know there's a multiplier effect because everyone that is working or hired by a GCC, there's indirect effect, indirect jobs that are needed to support that as well. The skilling needs, therefore, are critical. And you see the areas that these skills and capabilities are needed in are primarily technology related. So not only is it important to have strong accounting and finance capabilities, but you also need to have strong technical skills as well. And you'll hear a new term being coined and talked about more and more. It's called techno-finance. Techno-finance. In fact, I was talking to a gentleman earlier who I would describe as techno-finance, right? A strong understanding of accounting and finance, the application of those principles, along with the acumen and know-how to leverage technology to create value and get the most productivity and efficiency out of your operations. The US is certainly turning to India to alleviate some of the talent gaps that we're seeing in the US. In the US, there's a lot of people retiring. As the baby boom generation retires, we do not have enough talent to backfill the roles that we have in accounting and finance. So obviously we're looking elsewhere and we're finding a tremendous resource and talent pool in India. And this gives you an idea of some of the organizations that have made significant investments here in India and will continue to do so over the coming years. I mentioned this earlier about the changing role of the CFO from shifting from more of a steward focused on compliance, audit, financial reporting to someone that's really leading the organization forward and is thinking first and foremost about how he or she can create value for the organization, leveraging their experience, their knowledge, their expertise of the business to drive value. So understanding enterprise security and risk as those risks continue to intensify and continue to be heightened, the CFO is the person that's thinking about that day in and day out and ensuring that the proper investments are being made to protect the organization against those risks. Certainly climate and sustainability, AI and digital transformation, operational efficiency, and talent and culture. These are the skills, capabilities, critical areas that CFOs are more and more focusing their time and attention on. And likewise, their teams are focusing their time and attention on these things as well. Because a lot of the tasks that are listed on the left-hand side of this slide are in many ways being automated through machine learning, through RPA, through AI. And therefore, it's freeing up and creating opportunities for accounting and finance professionals to do higher level critical thinking, judgment, discretion, data interpretation, storytelling, those types of things. And at IMA, we recognize what's happening in the industry and we're responding to it. In fact, we're leading it within the management accounting space. We have for a long time published a management accounting competency framework. We expanded it this year from 6 domains to 10 domains to cover some of the key competency areas and topics that I just talked about. So on the right-hand side of this gear, you'll see some of the emerging skills that are now critically important for our members who work in accounting and finance jobs to hone and to focus on from a development perspective. Data analytics and insights, cybersecurity, data privacy, and so forth. And a lot of what we're offering, not only in our signature certification, the CMA, but other offerings such as micro-credentials and e-learning courses and our events and webinars are very much focused on these new skills. So we're really actively helping our members, our certification holders, to ensure that they are ready for the future and that they're in a position to lean in and help organizations be successful in that journey. We're known for 3 primary certifications. The one in the middle is the CMA. As I mentioned earlier, that is the standard for management accounting. We have more than 140,000 CMAs around the world. It's been in existence for more than 50 years. And its focus is very much on what the profession needs today. Internal controls, decision-making, risk, financial statements, FP&A, technology, and the impact of technology on accounting and finance, data analytics, and insights. This is what the modern day accounting and finance role requires, and this is what we're delivering to our members through our signature certification, the CMA. The one on the left, FMAA, is our newest certification, and think of it as financial literacy, foundational finance and management accounting information for the person that is a non-finance and accounting person. So you work with people in organizations who may come from data area or IT area or product area, and they do not possess the requisite accounting and finance knowledge to allow them to be more effective in their jobs. So the FMAA is our answer to that problem in the organization environment. And then finally, our CSCA is our long-standing certification. It's been around for about 10 years. That's focused very much in the area of strategy and competitive analysis, because we know that is a skill set that many organizations are looking for from their accounting and finance professionals. We are very happy to introduce a new offering. It's our micro-credential in AI and finance. You'll see banners that explain a little bit more about this new offering. It is designed to respond to the need that many of our members tell us and organization leaders tell us they have in the market, and that is, help me upskill and train my accounting and finance professionals to be able to leverage AI for more productivity, efficiency, and to help my organization move forward. So this is our answer to that particular organization challenge, and we're very excited about its opportunity. We have a lot of resources in the area of AI, agentic AI as well, and being a member of IMA gives individuals access to thousands of courses, webinars, research reports, events, our chapters at the local level to engage, to learn, to improve, to upskill, and to further your professional development. We have a corporate membership program that really is focused on upskilling your teams. We have organization leaders that enroll their accounting and finance teams in the program. And again, that opens that entire team up to upskilling opportunities. So it's a plug-and-play program. We can customize the content for you and your team members. You see we have quite a few members enrolled in this program, some big brands from around the world, and we're looking forward to seeing more and more brands representing India as well. So the time to act is now. That's kind of the message. I think we're going to hear more about that in our panel discussions over the next hour. Global competition. It's critical that India maintain its market share as it relates to GCC. There's a lot of competition from Southeast Asia, from Eastern Europe, from Latin America. How is India going to ensure that it stays the market leader as it comes to the area of GCC? The talent crisis is real. The competition for talent is only growing more and more challenging. The talent that we have to find ways to keep that talent relevant and invest in the skills that they need to help our organizations be successful. And of course, the speed of change is not slowing down. It was only 3 years ago that ChatGPT hit the market, and it has grown exponentially and will continue to double in computing power every year or so. So it requires us to be nimble, to to be agile, to be adaptable. And one of the ways you do that is through ongoing upskilling and ensuring that our people are staying ahead of the curve, if you will. So I want to thank you for giving me the platform to talk a little bit about IMA, some of the trends that we're seeing in the global market, its implications for India, and look forward to our panel discussions that'll dive deeper into some of these topics. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And if something was not working, it was part of the script, Mike. Yeah, we were trying to see if you guys catch it or no. So. All right, so quickly, let me also invite Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, Chair Emeritus IMA Global Board of Directors, for a very special address to the audience. Please, welcome. Let's clap for him, please. Thank you.
Also a presentation, 3 minutes. I also have a presentation. Yeah. So thank you very much. Good evening, and it's pleasure to be with you, sir. FTCCI, and of course with Mike. Pleasure. Most of the people in Hyderabad should know the name Deshmukh by this time, right? The first finance minister of India was C.D. Deshmukh, was from Hyderabad, and I can very proudly say that he was not related to me at all. But I say, depending on time goes. So thank you very much. And we always say in finance, time is money and money is time. But here I'm going to say, time is Manish. So I have to be very careful. Manish, where are you? Okay. Thank you, thank you. So I'm not going to take too much of a time, but basically I'm going to talk about future of finance in a leadership and AI-driven world. I'm happy that I'm not a chief financial officer in today's world. I used to be a CFO of McDonald's 15 years back, and I used to head information technology also at that point of time. I'm very happy that I am no more a CFO. Today's CFO job is much more difficult than what it used to be at that point of time. And I can guarantee you that because I see both sides now, right? What is happening today is a role of finance leader, finance professional is changing substantially, and it has changed in the last 3 years so much that right from operations to audit to compliance to financial planning and analysis, it is like previously the CFOs or finance professional leaders used to spend 70% of their time on transaction analysis, balance sheet, reporting, compliance, and all those things. Today that all work is done by technology. So the CFOs have a lot of time available on their hand, and they have to justify their job now, what are they going to do in their idle time. And that's where the strategic partnership, strategic leadership comes into the picture. At IMA, we do a lot of research with Deloitte, within our own IMA's research team, and we keep on identifying what are the skills required for the future. This is a list of skills in demand today for finance professional, for leaders, and one of them is, at the top is obviously artificial intelligence and automation skills, data analytics, strategic decision making, and blah, blah, blah. There's so many of them. We have come out with IMA's competency framework, which Mike just now showed you. We launched it on 29th of June 2025, and wherein we have included all these skills, which are very necessary for today's finance leaders and finance professionals. We call this digital fluency. In order to be an expert in a finance leader or any corporate leader, like you need to be a fluency in your language, you also need a fluency in your digitalization or digitization. I always tell there's a difference between digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. We very oftenly interchange these words, but one need to understand what is the difference between these three terms. And for that, we need to have a digital fluency. We start at the bottom of the pyramid. We start with understanding the data, automation, and analytics. And people think that why I'm talking, this is an engineer's job. Unfortunately, today, understanding data is everybody's job. Not only engineers, but finance professionals, supply chain professionals, every single person need to understand data, data insights, and data analytics. Then you need to go, next level is interpreting artificial intelligence output. So AI is very roughly used nowadays, right? We use AI like a Google nowadays. Instead of going to Google, we go to AI. But how the AI is going to be used in a corporate world is a big area of concern. Confidentiality, security, and multiple ways. So one need to understand interpreting AI and interpreting AI outputs critically from a business point of view. Then comes the collaborating with the data science teams. You may have a data science team, but how the finance leaders, supply chain leaders, marketing leaders, strategy leaders, how are they going to integrate and work with the data sciences team? That's very, very important, and it's a critical skill which is missing in many organizations today. And eventually what we need to do is we need to continuously upskill as a emerging technology evolves. What I remember is the Rumi's famous quote, right? Yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. Yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. Today I'm wise, I want to change myself. So we have to keep changing ourselves continuously if you want to remain relevant in today's world. Mike rightly said, technical to transformation. So the role of corporate leaders is changing so much today that leadership skills are very important. financial transformation is important and AI capabilities are also important. So one need to be expert or at least aware of how to operate within 3 circles and what is the common area where financial transformation is happening. And when we talk about leadership skills, obviously we talk about communication, we talk about the critical thinking, we talk about the predictive analysis. I also speak about the corporate sense making. Today's leaders need to know what is going to happen tomorrow in the corporate world. And I'm referring to multiple changes happening in the geopolitical situation because of multiple things which are happening so quickly. So I wrote an article on LinkedIn saying that how today's corporate leaders need to think like a diplomat. You need to interpret everything like a diplomat, and that is one of the possibilities. And this is my last slide, Manish. I will always ensure that I take care of my time. So to be successful in a finance leadership or any leadership, these are some of the steps. We follow a systemic approach. Whatever you want to do, you must follow a systemic approach. Start from defining the goals, assess the data, use the right technology, build a platform, foster the culture of innovation, manage risk, and obviously plan for the scalability because you are not doing it for the one time. It needs to be sustainable over a period of time. So this is a small keynote from me. Thank you very much, Manish. Thank you.
Full marks for you for being on time, Sunil. Thank you. And right, so one thing for sure not working in this room is the fire sensors, I think. Isko buja dijiye. I think we'll take it off. I don't know, does it really work or is it today it's turned off? I have no idea. Huh? So it's only the smoke? Okay, not the heat at all. Okay. All right, thank you, and it's been a pleasure to have you on the dais. I'll request you to move back to your individual seats. And we start the rest part of the agenda where we have a few panel discussions. We're trying to make it as engaging as possible. Thank you once again. A warm applause to the team here, please. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. We start with the first panel, which is Shantan and team. Yeah. By the time it starts, what I'll do is we wanted to break the monotony a little bit and see if we can do something interesting. Just give me 10 seconds to start this. I am the timer today. All right, so if you can you share my laptop onto this one? All right, so quickly, in the next two minutes, we'll just make it a little more interactive for today. If you guys are familiar working on Mentimeter? All of you? Yeah, okay, perfect. So no more instructions on that. You have a QR code, or you can go to menti.com and use the code 84705411 on your mobiles. I give you exactly 20 seconds to see if you can log into the system. If I get 80% people logged in by then, we'll get started. So the code is 84705411, or you also have the QR code here, which is hidden a little bit. Let me see if I can change it. Yeah. Can you? Just give me a green signal if you guys are able to log in. Yeah, okay, perfect. So another 10 seconds. Anyone not able to log in as yet, please raise your hands. So I'm assuming only very few, so 80% have logged in. All right, so last 5 seconds. And I request everyone to log in. You'll have fun playing the game. Ankit, we also have a prize for the first finisher, right? Ankit? We have the prize for the first finisher? Yeah, okay, all right. So it's going to be interesting, competitive as well. Mike, let's see. Yeah, all right. Okay, so if everybody's onboarded, let me go to the next. So you will have to look at your phones as well. Mostly try to look at your phones. This is just initial introductions. So if you can just say, what does your company do? Just type the answer or select it from the options given. I give you about another 5-10 seconds. So we have a good mix of others and tech services, BFSI, pharma, and tech products. So Good. Just to get you to used to the mentee as well. That's the next one. This is interesting. Just need a little good answers from you guys. What's the biggest challenge you face today in your work area? If you can just type one word or a couple of word answer. Talent, keeping it simple, keeping it simple. That's the world's toughest activity even now for the last many, many years, right? So I'll just read a few of them. Change management, managing talent, talented people. So talent is a big, Pankaj, are you hearing? Talent is still the biggest problem here. Skill, keeping it simple, differentiating, talent gap. All right. Thank you for answering. The next few questions will also give you points and marks. So if you can, what we have done is the faster you answer, the more points you get, right? So quickly, if I say the next slide, or yeah. So keep looking at your mobile as well. That's where very good, thank you very much. It says, all right, let me off it from here. Let's try once more. We are having connectivity issues to the quiz. If the problem persists, contact hello@mentimeter.com. Fabulous. Let me try one last time. If it works fine, otherwise we'll move to the panel discussion. All right, cool. It worked. So if you are ready, the question is on your mobile. The faster you answer, the more points you get, right? So the top 10 companies by profit margins globally belong to which sectors amongst these? There are 4 of them listed. You can choose quickly: BFSI, pharma, tech, real estate. BFSI, pharma, tech, or real estate. Top 10 companies by profit margins globally. 6 seconds to go. Everyone has voted. Let's see what the right answers are. All right, three good answers, or 3 right answers, I would say. BFSI, pharma, tech are the right answers. So if you have answered any one of those, is fine. Real estate, yeah, it's a very Hyderabad thing, but not from not global profit margins here. But yeah, thank you. So you will get scores on this one. Let's see the leaderboard. It's slowly coming up, so it will show you the top 10 finishers here. All right, 975. Adarsh. Adarsh in the room, can you raise your hand? All right. Oh, Adarsh, you're there. So Adarsh is leading this round. I'll quickly move to the second one. Keep looking at your phone, gentlemen. Try to make it as closely linked as possible to our context today. If you guys are ready, the next question on your mobiles. All right, this is not related to the one, but Shantan, you're not supposed to answer this. You have to identify the personality from the 6 pictures that you see. So it's Shatranj Ki Khiladi. Sorry, Mike, this is very Indian. There's Bharatiya Vayu Sena, Indian Air Force, Inkalab, 2 hands writing, T5570, somebody called Srivastav. So another 7 seconds to go. If you can answer, please don't discuss amongst you. You might lose the points. All right, let's see what the right answers are. Did anybody? Oh, I got 1 correct answer. Actually, 2 of them. So Amitabh is the right answer. Who got it right? There you go. Shantan, I told you not to tell. All right, okay. So the picture that you saw, and let me bring it up again, sorry. Where did it go? Damn it. All right. The 2 hands were basically he's ambidextrous. So Shatranj Ki Khiladi, he was the narrator in that movie. Then I think it was what, T5570 is, he writes tweets almost every day and he numbers it. So it's T5570 is the latest tweet. Inkalab was also the name that his parents wanted to put. So Inkalab Srivastav, right? So I will take a break here. We'll continue after the panel. And let me have the first panel host and moderator, Mr. Shantan Bose, invited on the stage. Mr. Bose, over to you. And you can change the screen. Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah, warm applause for Mr. Shantan Bose. Thank you. Quick introduction. Shantan Bose, apart from being a very close friend, also is director at ENY, and he takes care of clients and industries in Hyderabad as part of the EY India team. Shantan, it's a pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. A warm welcome to all of you. First of all, thanks to all the guests, IMA and FTCCI for organizing this. I would like to welcome all the panelists, Shiba, Mr. Sunil Deshmukh, Prakash, Natraj. Three mics we have? Three. Four. Comfortable? You okay? So, a good evening to all of you. First of all, thank you so much, IMA and FTCCI, for organizing this. I think this is the need of the hour. Mike, your presentation was eye-opener, and we every day goes through this, the talent gap in the industry, and it's alarming to see that. And first of all, I would like to welcome all my eminent panelists. They are itself a big brand in Hyderabad as a city, and I would like to start from Shiva. Why don't you just do a small intro, brief, and we'll start with the questions.
Okay. Saidin, thank you so much. My name is Siba, and I work as Director of Finance and Strategy for a company called Trinet, which is a insurance company, and it's basically a PEO firm. I've been working for about 15 years. I've worked with Amazon, Accenture, Deloitte, and PepsiCo before Trinet had happened. I'm a certified management accountant. That's where I got my maximum knowledge that I apply on a day-to-day basis. And I've also done my executive MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. Personally, I'm married. I have a 5-year-old daughter who keeps me busy, and she's the one who checks my patients all the time, and I can do nothing about it. That's basically about me. While we go on, I'll continue to speak.
Thank you. My name is Natraj Gudla. I'm coming from Mass Mutual India, which is one of the leading US whole life insurer. I'm heading the programs and strategic initiative, transformative initiatives for Mass Mutual in India. Prior to joining Mass Mutual, I was at Capgemini for almost 2 decades, doing a variety of roles, both technical, transformative consultancy, and also leading large operations for Capgemini, and then later in Mass Mutual. I'm a resident of Hyderabad, blessed with 2 sons. My elder son just entered his MBBS. He's studying right now in AIMS BB Nagar.
Thank you, Natraj. My name is Prakash, and I've been in this GCC ecosystem over the last 20 years, setting up the GCC for Sun Microsystems, the core Java GCC. That's how I started after being in the US for quite some time, relocating back to India. Then set up the various GCCs on behalf of General Electric, United Technologies, Carrier, Otis, a whole bunch of things. I mean, over 40 GCCs have been established. And beginning of this year, I have started my own company called Arohan, primarily helping multinational companies to establish their GCCs anywhere in India, right from the strategy all the way till the implementation. And that's what we are doing. Great to be part of this one. Married once, 2 children, 1 wife. I'm following your lines. And son is in the US working in the tech, and daughter is in senior high school, class 12. Thank you.
Sunil.
Hi, my name is Sunil Deshmukh. Other than IMA's Global Chair Emeritus, I was a CFO for 15 years, worked for big multinational companies like Goodyear Tires, Foster's Beer, and McDonald's. Then became a CEO, group CEO, managing director, managed multiple businesses, lived in 5 countries. Came back to India 3 years back, live in Pune nowadays. In addition to these things, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a counselor, sit on the boards as independent director, teach in B schools, and give a lot of keynote speeches, mentor students, mentor multiple leaders. Of course, married to the same lady for 35 years now only. 2 boys, 1 boy is in data scientist and 1 boy is in AI, and both of them laugh at me when I told them that I'm going to talk about the future of technology and finance leader. They literally laughed at me. They said, Dad, it's better you don't speak there.
Thanks, Sunil. So before we start the panel, so there are a couple of questions I want to ask all the panelists, and we'll try to make it more interactive, make it crisp, to the point, relevant, because we have 30 minutes of time. So our topic of the discussion is the next evolution of the GCCs in India, building global center of excellence in innovation, analytic, and strategic finance. So this is the theme. So I have few questions just to set the context right. So Shiva, I'll start with you, Nataraj and all. So how many GCCs you think there is in India right now? And by 2030, how many will be?
Do you want me to answer the first one or second one both?
Both.
Somewhere between 17 to 1800 right now, 2,500, 700 by 2030.
Yeah, that's almost correct. Prakash, what?
Can I add an appendix and
sure.
footnote?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this is who I am, by the way, right? Yeah. That is an official number. 1800, 2000 is the official number, but there are so many more GCCs that have been established all over India, and just because they have been not registered with a particular organization, association, probably we might not even know. My take is that anything between 8,000 to 10,000 GCCs is already there. 2,000 is official. It's like a parallel economy going on. It's a parallel GCC going on.
Yeah, you're correct. Nataraj, can you tell me how many people work in this industry?
Somewhere around 2 million. Today, as of today, 20 lakhs. Officially counting from the 2,000 odd GCCs. Unofficially, probably Prakash knows it better.
And how many will be till 2030?
I think it will probably be proportionate, because if the GCCs are close to doubling in next 3 years, we can expect anywhere between 3.5 to 4 million workforce.
That's a great number. Sunil, what is the current revenue? I don't know. I might be, little incorrect. But what is the measurement of the revenue in the GCC is not very clear. But what is the kind of a revenue this industry clocks in India right now, and what will be approximately in next 5-6 years?
So I can see the answers, but I don't want to see there. My guess is current revenue of GCC is in the range of 50 billion to 60 billion US, anywhere in that range. Of course, this is not officially published figure, but this is what our guesstimate is there. And future number, anywhere between 80 to 90 billion dollar. That's my gut. Yeah.
Correct. So I'll start the question with you, Siba. See, GCCs have traditionally been seen as a cost center and a skill centers and all. So what are the drivers of enabling their evolution into the strategic hubs, innovation and enterprise-wide strategy? What is your...
No, I feel this is my 3rd GCC. I was the 103rd employee when Amazon launched its finance operations in Hyderabad, and they have the biggest office in the world right now. I've been very fortunate. I've been living in Hyderabad for about 21 years, so I have seen the city grow and firsthand, and I'm not second guessing how fantastically it will grow. But I was also the first 100 employees when PepsiCo launched its GCC in India. So I have this experience of working as a startup within a Fortune 500 company. So the mindset shift has to be there. This is the biggest thing that I always say, is that if you work like an outsourcing firm, you will struggle because you will become an order taker. GCCs are not for people who are taking order. It is no more outsourcing, it is actually insourcing. People are coming to you to advise. The capability to understand the objectives, then go back, solve problems is what people need, rather than saying there are 5 things you need to do to reduce your OPEX. So how do I work on a day-to-day basis to strategies? How do I upskill, empower my people to understand what is the why behind what is being done, rather than just following things, right? So for that to happen, I always say there's no tech, there is no finance, there is nothing. If you don't understand business, you are doing nothing. So understand, we all are working because we are supporting business. So if we understand the support of the business, that's the most important. 3 things I say: understand the source of revenue, understand your margins, understand your bottom line. What are the things that we're going to do? 3 things, right, to make money next year. So that's where from the whole strategy would run from.
Yeah. So Prakash, the next question is to you. So I think you will be the right one also to give a light on it. So Hyderabad is emerging as one of the GCC capital. Now, a lot of news in the in the media saying that we are the number 1 beating the Bangalore. So what unique factors do you see? The policy, the infrastructure, or talent? What is that you see? It's the growth of the Hyderabad GCC landscape.
Again, thanks for asking that great question. So, a couple of things I think are fundamentally acting as a tailwind in favor of Hyderabad. One is the cost of living is absolutely lower than most of the other places, like Mumbai, Delhi, or even Bangalore. It's kind of competing very close to Chennai and Pune. But it has its own advantages, right? So the cost definitely plays a role to what the GBS functions are talking about. Point number 2 is probably it has actually one of the highest number of engineering colleges, available talent, mostly English speaking, right? So that's the second one. Third one, if you take a look into the technology sector where the GCCs are focused upon, worldwide, 30% of the people in the GCCs or in the global tech sector are from this state. The Telugu speaking, previously it used to be Andhra Pradesh, but it's from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So the Telugu speaking states contributed to the 30% of the STEM, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's the third one. The fourth one is actually from Hyderabad, anywhere in India, you can actually travel in less than 2 hours. So the domestic connectivity, either internationally or domestically, actually becomes even more important. Fourth one is Hyderabad has been actually constituted as the 2nd capital of India, just in case Delhi had a problem. So that is actually one of the primary reasons. Fifth one is from a overall climate perspective. You don't have floods, unlike Mumbai or Chennai. You don't have major traffic congestion, unlike Bangalore. You don't have major pollution, like Delhi or Gurgaon. So these are other additional factors, the macroeconomic or the global environmental factors are actually contributing toward this one. As a result, Hyderabad is extremely welcoming. You typically have any GCCs that is actually operating at scale has people from at least 15 to 20 different states. I can go on, I'll stop here.
No, that's the relevant questions. That's why I asked you, because Sunil, so the questions to you is how are organizations leveraging GCCs to build center of excellence, and the areas like analytics, strategic finance. Finance, you are an expert. You've been a CFO many years ago, 2 decades ago. And also, if you can just point out a couple of examples of some successful models, which is to do so. If any new GCCs come, what should they do? Just a couple of pointers.
No, one thing, let me make it very clear. These 4 people are the stalwarts in the GCC. I am the young kid entering this side now, okay? That's why I'm sitting on this corner. Okay, you help me, yeah. And there's a famous joke. Idi Amin was asked a question by a reporter that, sir, we have a freedom of speech. And we need to ask you a question and you have to guarantee us a freedom of speech. So Idi Amin told them, yes, I can guarantee you freedom of speech, but I cannot guarantee you freedom after speech. So my position is something like that. So be patient to listen to my answers. So I think what is happening on the GCC front is rather than having a back office concept, now we are having a front office concept. This is my way of interpretation. Don't take me otherwise. And GCCs have moved from a cost arbitrage point of view to a capability arbitrage point of view. Mostly GCCs were coming to India because of the cost advantage, but now I think they are realizing that there is not only cost advantage, there is a capability advantage also. That's a big thing is happening. I personally think that GCCs were previously set up for a particular cause with a return on investment in mind, ROI, typical finance terminology. I would say today return on investment is important, but return on impact is also very important. The GCCs are creating a huge impact in the world, which are being set up into India, be it Design GCC, be it Innovation GCC, or be it the latest one, Open McDonald's here in Hyderabad, one of the biggest one. I think Center of Excellences is a new concept within the GCC. A lot of innovation hubs are coming there, which is a great thing. Previously, we never had too many innovation GCCs in this part of the world, but now we are seeing that Ford Motor Company does not sell and manufacture cars in India, but they have their biggest back office or GCC in India, in Chennai. Correct. So that's a classic example. And I think there are different models of GCC. Hub and pod model is very common. That's where the McDonald's has opened recently. It's a hub and pod model. Then you can have a hybrid model where Center of Excellence and global business services are combined together. It's a very, very, I can say, successful model happening. A lot of pharma companies, a lot of big retail companies, technology companies are going for the hybrid sort of model. So these are some of the areas. And of course, data analytics is the, you can say, the key to all these things. If you don't have data, you can't have a GCC. Yep.
Correct. Thanks, Sunil. So, yeah, sure.
Thank you. I mean, great points. I think fundamentally, I just wanted to clarify that though the GCCs have actually been established in India primarily for the cost arbitrage, but the evolution, having been in this particular industry over the last 20 years, and having set up the GCCs from ground zero, what's happening now is when the new GCCs are coming in, they are directly coming in what we call as a maturity level 3 or a 4, rather than coming in for a cost arbitrage, and then they are actually moving down the chain of doing the back office work. So they are already thinking about how do I do the next disruption, next product line? How do I tap into the Asian market? How do I tap into the Indian market? How do I localize my products for the Indian economy? Though the GCC is a capability center and a cost center, how can I actually help the P&L of my organization with the localizations? So this is the value addition that we are talking about, and each of the GCCs that are being established are now setting up that innovation hub, COE, within the organization to disrupt themselves, not just for the local markets, but actually for the international global operations in itself. And as a strategy consultant now, and that would be one of my strong recommendations to say that, this is how you need to think. There were, in the last 3 months, I had talked to 2 GCCs, companies who are trying to come, and they were talking about, hey, I want to come for the cost arbitrage, set up 50 people in India and blah, blah, blah. I said that, don't do it. I said that, no, why? Right? And I told them the reasons. One of the things with the GCC, we always talk about the good things, a lot of things, but sometimes being in the industry for quite some time, I also get a little worried. 70% of the 2 million people that we are talking about, or the 1700 GCCs or the 1800 GCCs are still at a level 1, level 2 maturity curve, which means that they are still doing a lot of back office, which they might be still doing low-end work, repetitive work. And the worry that we all need to be as industry veterans is that if that gets automated, if that gets, taken away by the tools and the systems and the softwares, what will happen to that employment? We are only talking about, we are creating 2 million employment, indirect employment of 3 to 4 per every white collar job. But that white collar job, one goes away, then we are actually eliminating 5 other jobs as well in the same ratio. So these are some things that we need to really think from the GCC perspective. How do we actually scale it up? And to your point, Mike, how do we upgrade the skill set, and how do we make sure that we grow through the value chain? I think that needs to be imbibed. Today, I was an engineer like 40 years ago is not applicable. You need to reinvent every day. You need to relearn every day.
Thanks, Prakash. So, Nataraj, I know you've been waiting, so supposed to
I thought the
start
first
with you.
question. I thought
Yeah.
the first question would come to me, but you have chosen me last.
A little bit of changes. So, it's a most interesting question. which Mike also, talked about it. There's a shift from, support to strategy, and there is clearly there is a skill gap in the entire industry. And it's very critical for the GCCs to, meet this skill gap. So what is your thought, how these companies are addressing this skill gap, and where you see there is an opportunity in India as a market?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think a very relevant one, and a lot of work is today being done across GCCs, including mine, on the talent gap. But before I answer that question, a little bit of perspective on what was spoken earlier. I think to the point of evolution of GCCs from being a cost arbitrage to a talent arbitrage or a capability arbitrage, one of the driver is that the fact that there is a clear mandate and mindset change, expecting the GCs to actually be involved in the enterprise level work, right? You speak about the left-hand side of the end customer facing areas of work all the way up to the operations, right? So there is a clear expectation. Hence that expectation drives all the GCCs today to actually reinvent themselves to become integrated into the overall business value chain. I think that's one perspective I want to bring. Coming to the talent gap, yes, I think as Mr. Prakash just mentioned, only 70% of the GCCs 70% of the GCCs are just at the level 1, the cost arbitrage level. In the maturity model, there are, I think, 4 or 5 steps before you become more collaborative and partnership oriented. What is definitely needed for all the GCCs today is to actually get better, deeper at the business understanding. I think we have proven ourselves enough on the technology side. We have got great AI stuff. We have got great, cloud computing. You call any technology, we are super duper at it. But I think we have to get better at a deeper understanding of the business. For example, the product lines. What's the product strategy? What goes into designing a product, right? To address this skill gap, one of the important thing is the integration with the ecosystem. One such, academies like IMA come into the picture where we can collaborate, partner, the GCC ecosystem can partner with such organizations to intake, the right talent into the GCCs. We are working with, talent farm that Mr. Pankaj right now is closely associated with to ensure that we are actually mutually setting the goals that we have into the academia, at the same time taking help of such intelligent platforms to get the right talent. So I think there's a lot happening in this front. At the same time, GCCs are internally focusing on upskilling their talent, because in the rapid changing technology, adaptation is very, very important. And with the demand of what I mentioned earlier of the business acumen, I think the academia, ecosystem, leverage, upskilling, all of them fit well into this overall spectrum, right? I would say of filling the talent gap, and there's a lot of work being done on that front. Thank you.
Thank you, Nataraj. So that's come the perfect questions. So where Nataraj ends, the collaboration between the government, academia, industry play. Where do you see this acceleration of GCC innovation happening, Shiva?
No, I think in my prior company here also, one of the things that I do is, we are hiring rapidly. And one of the biggest thing that I feel, which Mike also was showing and everybody is saying, is there's a serious skill gap in terms of what is being taught versus what is being demanded in the marketplace. So I think it's not only the responsibility of the academy, it is responsibility of the people who have been working to collaborate, mentor, coach people that if I am being taught, say for example, I'll tell finance sort of a things which is finance, right? If I'm teaching somebody revenue recognition, they are studying it for the sake of writing the examination, but not in terms of understanding it. If they don't understand, they can't implement. So I think the government is doing its part. I personally do a lot of mentorship to students that I actually get through LinkedIn. That's one of the biggest challenges that we are facing at this point in time. I think there are good work that we are doing, but there are serious work that needs to be done to fill this, and there's definitely a collaboration that is required, because today in my organization we are trying to hire 55 people for finance, and we are struggling, and that's actually one of the reasons that I always feel this needs to be filled. This gap needs to be understood, because the academics that are being taught somehow is becoming obsolete because of the rapid transformation in technology. So I think I personally collaborate with people to do that, and I think academics are definitely doing it. Some of them that I know, the government is also doing its part, but I think together, if we have to win, all of us needs to collaborate with each other.
Thanks, Shiva. So keeping the timer in mind, so I have these questions. So both Sunil and Prakash, you both have to answer this, but with a max, with a one-liner. And so how do you see, Sunil, GCC contributing to the next 5 years for the enterprise transformation? And what opportunities or challenges could the leadership prepare for?
So I think GCCs are going to be the core engine of corporate transformation. The business model, we talk about pivot and all those things, the future businesses will revolve around creating GCCs and creating front offices where sales and marketing will happen. So it's a change in business way of thinking and doing the business. The biggest challenge that today's GCC leaders will face is, of course, the talent arbitrage. Today we are going to tier 2 cities, eventually GCCs may have to go to tier 4, tier 5 cities, and technology is evolving so fast. So how to keep up with the technology? And the last one, of course there are multiple, I will give him opportunity to speak more, he has got more experience. But I think corporate sense making, whatever is happening around in the world, the external world as well as internal world, GCCs need to quickly adapt to that and change the business model accordingly. I think that would be the biggest challenge. Cultural competence, yes. A culture will play a huge role as far as success of GCC is concerned. Thanks.
Prakash, you have to conclude this same question with mentioning 5 next cities, the tier 2 cities, where the GCC expansion is happening.
First, I'll actually go back to the leadership question. I think we have fantastic talent, English speaking, strong academics, technically capable, internationally exposed, etc., etc. I think what additionally the leadership should really be looking into is they need to think like a product manager and ask the fundamental question, what is the problem that I'm trying to solve? I think forget about the solution, try to find out what is the problem, right? And then use all these technologies as the tools to solve the problem quickly and all that. So 5 cities that can actually come out probably in the state of Telangana, I think Warangal and Andhra Pradesh could be Vizag. Could definitely have a big potential. Tamil Nadu could be Coimbatore. Karnataka could be Mysore, and Bhubaneswar is definitely coming up. Pune is already there and growing quite a bit. Ahmedabad is also really shining.
Gift City.
Gift City is absolutely there. So yeah, 5, 6. I told 6.
Yeah, Indore, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Cochin, lot of. So it's never ending. So yeah, we've come to a closure of this panel. If anyone have any questions, we can just go around and just. If anyone have any questions, you can ask to the panelist. So we have one question, Manish. Sir, one question.
Just raise the hand, you know, where to pass on the mic.
Yes, sir. Your name, please.
I am Raju Krishnan, a retired banker and a foreign exchange consultant. I just want one small question. With the US tightening H-1B norms and Indian IT firms losing ground in approvals, how should India reposition itself so that global companies bring more high-value work to GCCs rather than relying on sending talent online? And nowadays we are seeing so many articles that from the back office, Indian talent is going to the boardrooms. So I would like to know what is the strategy, the present situation the panel can recommend to the government?
Very nice. I mean, this is a fantastic question. And by the way, can people hear me? Okay, perfect. I think that this will continue to happen. H1 probably has started with the United States talking about, that particular thing. But we talk about the globalization, but the localization is also really happening. Nationalism, protectionism, that's also actually happening. The only way that we will be in a position to differentiate is to showcase the talent available. Over the last 20 to 30 years, we had been showcasing really on the software, the capability, engineering, the back office, automation, and all that. I think we need to really get into the advanced technologies, AI, ML, including the hardware. Like we don't have any of, the first company is actually coming with the silica, but we need to have a lot more capabilities on the hardware. So that would be one where the government can probably provide more incentives to actually do that. Second is, I think, our educational system in itself, right? We are still doing the way it has always been taught over the last 70 years, but the world is changing so fast, we need to really now take a look into what is really appropriate for the day. A 4-year degree, is that really mandated, or a 3-year degree is required? Or do you need to have certifications in specific skill set? As a result, we'll be in a position to become employable and create employment to 10 other people around me. I think that's the second one. The third is actually like trying to actually promote the innovation, the startups, the ecosystem, and incentivizing them, and asking these entrepreneurs to take the risk. In the leadership, they always talk about celebrating the failures. So why not we actually encourage those people with the incentivization just in case they were to actually happen. And the last one is that we spend quite a bit of money, 2% on the CSRs. Can we actually centralize that CSR towards actually having a laser kind of a focus towards actually addressing some of these problems that you talked about, that not only helps the society, but actually the overall, the ecosystem of the GCCs.
Thank you. So seeing the timing, thank you so much, Shiva, Natraj, Prakash, and Sunil. It's wonderful to have you in the panel, and we really got a lot of insights. And so I see a lot of few hands raising up. So we are having this networking dinner after the panel, so we can just have an interaction over there. Thank you.
Yes. And thank you. I think with such a huge intellect capital on this dais, it looks very untidy for me to let them go off, right? But that's the nature of the event today. We want to keep it short and crisp. Thank you for being here. Warm applause to them. Can I invite Mr. Srini Garimala on the dais, please? We'll quickly hand over at one go to all the panelists, just in interest of time, and then have a group photo. We will clap at the end. Just saving some energy. Thank you, Sudhir. Prakash, thank you as always. Great insights. Maza aaya. Thank you, Natraj. Thank you very much. Shantan, thank you. You got such a elite panelists on the stage. Maza aa gaya. And now, a group photo and a very warm round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you, and I'll request the next panelist to be ready quickly. The moderator, Mr. Vivek Verma, one of the very beloved ecosystem builder and enabler in Hyderabad. Vivek, while you get your team on the call, on the dais, I'll just continue the quiz for a couple of more questions. Guys, we left with the last answer, so just give me a second. Can you share this laptop? This one, for 2 minutes? Yep. So we have a new leader on the board. If you can go back to your mobile phones while we set the panel discussions. Bala, that was not good, Bala. He's leading the round. Next question on your devices, please. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just making it warm. Guys, there is a prize, but apart from the prize, there's a very, it's a very egoistic thing to win amongst all these intellectuals, right? So, buckle up. All right, are you guys ready? 31 players are ready. I give you another 5 seconds. Panelists, you might lose a chance to win the prize. So if you want to come back to the quiz, please feel free. All right, I will move to the quiz. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, the next question on your mobiles. As I said, quick answers get you more points. How many GCCs in Hyderabad? This is the official number. So I've given you 4 answers. You can choose amongst those. Less than 200, 200 to 300, over 350, none of the above, as Prakash would call it sometimes. This is the official number which I got. So, individual chat GPTs can give you individual answers, but this is the one that my chat GPT gave me, okay? All right, so quite a few of you got it. So thank you, and let's see the leaderboard. Safed queue. All right, so let's see. Okay, I think it will give you the same problem. It's 360 is what is the official number. But Prakash would disagree completely. He would say it's 3,000. Oh, man. Okay, so I will let the system go back. And Vivek, over to you to run the next set of panel discussions. You can invite your guests and you can switch back. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Manish. And can I request my fellow panelists, so Swaroop Banerjee, Soumyajit Bakshi, Professor Vijaya Marisetti, and Sheila Ramakrishna to join us on the stage for us to get another round of interesting conversation going. Yes, Manish, with your permission, we can ask people to clap as the panelists join us on stage.
Warm applause to everybody to welcome them once, and then once they depart. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Find your name. Perfect. So first of all, yep, there are a couple of mics. Yes. So thank you, Manish, and thank you to IMA and FTCCI to bringing a set of people here to share our views, and we'll try and do justice to the time as Manish has indicated. So I think, moving on from the first panel discussion to a topic which is more focusing on the vision, capability, and looking at the strategic side of things, I guess we have got a fantastic panel here. But I just want to set a little bit of a context, while we are talking about global capability centers, as it kind of sounds today. I've seen this journey from very early in the 90s when, various terminologies people have heard, and we can keep debating which is the right terminology. But as I see it, the evolution has been from contracting to outsourcing to offshoring to call centers to BPOs to KPOs to innovation hubs, to COEs, to GCCs, and I learned a new one today, which is the techno-finance centers, which probably maybe we'll have a conference a year from now where we will say it's no longer GCCs, but it is TFCs, which are techno-finance centers that are happening here. But I think the journey has not just been about the names that I took, but it's also been about moving from a cost arbitrage to really becoming the center of the nerve of the organizations that exist. And I think it's not any longer about, I remember in the call center era, it was about $18, $20, $25, and what can we bring that down to? And it's no longer that. It's about revenue centers, it's about capability centers, it's about the strategic role. And it's also about really reshaping the enterprise value that the organizations has. So people are not coming here just for cost arbitrage anymore. So I think, we'll focus on that and also focus a little bit on the sustainable nature of the finance functions and transformation that needs to happen, and how this industry is really going to shape the future, shape the world, and really focus on global enterprise solutions that will come out here. And I have the fortune of having some real fantastic minds who are going to join me in addressing some of those questions. But let me start by probably going from the other end to take a minute or two to tell us a little bit more about what you do, and then we'll come to a few questions that I have for you. Sure. And my request to everyone will be that, keeping in mind 30 minutes, let's try and make the most of it and get each of us to speak a few times over. So over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a professor of finance since 26 years now. But I think to be more relevant to this audience, in the recent past, I've been teaching CFOs on leadership as part of Indian School of Business engagement. And I also teach something called as a Leadership with AI as a program at ISB in Hyderabad. But I've been teaching finance and now more fintech. I run a blockchain lab at ISB. But right now I'm posted on a deputation role as the Dean and Dr. Ambedkar Chair Professor at IIM Visakhapatnam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you.
Yes, Sheila.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Sheila Ramakrishna. Currently I work with Reckitt as a GFS Hub Director of Finance. I have 2 decades of experience coming mainly from core expertise in FP&A and transformation. So my journey has been in setting up a shared service center for FP&A for GE Healthcare, largely in Bangalore. And then I've done various transformation projects within various industries, organizations that I've worked. And currently with Reckitt, I'm in Hyderabad, based out, from Bangalore, moved to this new role. And I in the previous panel, I think I heard about saying, Bangalore traffic and a lot of other things. I think everywhere in the IT centers, right, the traffic is there. So anyways, I am currently in the current organization. I look at the complete service delivery. I'm responsible for making sure the quality controls, compliance, transformation, everything is taken care from the outsourced service partner standpoint, and making sure my stakeholders, who are the companies, FCs and FDs, the CFOs and everyone, give them the delivery that they require. So that's my current role.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Over to you, Swaram.
Thank you very much. Before I go there, you know what? See those guys who are serving snacks? So it was all like veg. Fish came, okay, I'm a Bengali. Fish came. So, yes, please. And then, can you please come on to the dais? So you owe me a piece of fish.
Yes.
I have a fancy title, head up, product management with Tesco. Tesco is one of the, big retail companies in the world. But essentially what I do, I'm an accountant. 20 years ago, I veered into technology. So essentially, I work in the intersection of tech and finance, and enabling our business to be more tech-led, but also finance literate.
Fantastic. Thank you. And last but not the least, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Somyajit Bagchi and I'm part of Deloitte USI, which is Deloitte Consulting India Private Limited. So at present role, what I'm performing, I'm the lead of the indirect taxes and tax technology and tax operations. So I have a responsibility to liaise with all these stakeholders in external and internal, and that is something which always churns me and keeps me motivated, because I get to interact with a lot of people inside and outside the houses as well. And I'm part of few of the committee members of our Deloitte, which supports various CSR and other activities. So that's all about me. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. So as you can see, like I was saying, you've got a fantastic set of people who are teaching, people who are practicing, people who've done it, People are going to be focusing on what needs to be done. So maybe we'll start with you, Professor, that because you're the one who are kind of shaping the future with teaching people about what needs to happen. So how are the finance leaders, as they are emerging in India, kind of reimagining the whole traditional operating models, as I said, over this last few decades, to drive transformation from a global perspective?
Yeah.
Because it's not the same as what it was 10 years ago.
True.
So how are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's not the same anymore, isn't it? Like, for example, if you take companies with a valuation of more than 1 trillion, so about 7 or 8 companies exist as of now, and out of which 6 companies are tech companies. And out of these 6 companies, 3 are platforms, and the remaining 3 are companies that support platforms, directly or indirectly. So the world is reimagining itself. I think it's changing drastically. But if I talk about traditional operating model, maybe the most traditional model when we start business is you have some real assets and you have some human capital. And you let them interact and they create some enterprise value. Then you evolve over time where you have real assets, there is human capital, but you want to scale up. Then the approach is to convert real assets into financial capital, right? So then you have a model where you need a CFO, mainly to have this transition of creating real assets into financial capital. Again, the financial capital investing in real assets, right? So this model has been there for last 6-7 decades, and where enterprise value is measured, CFO's role is measured, and value creation is happening at scale. But now you have a model where you have real assets, you have financial capital, but there is something else called as information capital that is coming up in a rampant way. For example, if I take again the same 6 companies with a valuation of more than 1 trillion, there is no disproportional difference in terms of financial capital, real assets, and information capital. Now, if I count their financial capital or real assets, it doesn't really match with their valuations, right? So, like you take NVIDIA, a valuation of 5 trillion, right? So, with 65,000 people employed, a valuation of more than 1 year Indian GDP. Now, this calls for a big question for all CFOs or finance managers to see how to create value with very less real assets, very less financial capital. Still, it can be a huge enterprise value. That's where I think all the skilling talk we've been discussing right now is happening, right? So hence I think information capital is emerging as a big capital in companies, and how to harvest it or harness it becomes the future. And so I think it's very important for all finance managers to focus more on enhancing this information capital. Now, when we had this discussion at the beginning, we got to learn more from Michael that or some other reports of EY or KPMG. That's now CFOs are becoming more like information managers. A lot of IT people are reporting to CFO because companies are projecting information capital as the main capital, which is very hard to value. And communication becomes so crucial for CFO. How can you value with information capital? Like for example, you take a traditional operating model, something like balance scorecard, right? So how can you bring in information capital into balance scorecard and make people accountable in terms of their contribution to, or CFO accountable in terms of contribution to their, to the information capital of companies. So I think, given this, changing world, I think, information capital becomes the crucial role, part, and then skilling becomes the major.
Yeah, and I don't envy you when you're trying to teach all these models to these new budding CFOs there. So
Right.
thank you, Professor. Coming to you, Swamijit. If we are talking about this model changing and this kind of emerging, how do you see this shift of finance not being a cost center anymore and kind of looking at this capability center? And what do you see that from a global competitiveness of these India-based GCCs? How do you see that from your perspective?
Yeah, so from the cost center to this capability center, when you were talking about the finance, the mindset is something which is very important. And what we have witnessed in reality, that the finance professionals who are now developing or getting degrees of chartered accountancy or any other finance degree like cost accountancy, so the upskilling is extremely required, which the talent pool demands. Means when some organization is setting up their GCCs in Hyderabad or Pune or Jaipur or Coimbatore, they are looking for bright talents, and they are looking for, as I think Mike and Mr. Deshmukh mentioned, that the techno-finance means the professional has to be a data scientist as well, means that kind of a mindset. And a recent example, I will just share this anecdote, that one of the professional who was being interviewed by one of our leader along with me, so we were looking for a kind of a comprehensive finance domain professional in our organization, and one professional came with a solid degree in academics, and with a good knowledge, means the knowledge which is actually like the accounting standard, the global accounting standard he has. But one person came with just an experience of a solid 10 years in different organizations. He was able to crack, he was able to articulate. So that talent pool, that mindset to understand, articulate, it's more about how you are engaging with the technology, how you are trying to revamp yourself with the technology adoption, and also to look that how you can create a strategic asset. Means no longer this is a kind of a operational or a cost arbitrage model. It's a strategic value. Means my parent sitting in the US, I'll be supporting as a co-partner, not as an offshore delivery center, by just executing or following certain directions.
Correct. As somebody said earlier, we are no longer in the back, we are right in the front. Quite often also changing the way the customer-facing approaches are happening. Coming to you, Swaroop, in this whole landscape shift, one of the important aspects today is about sustainability. And how does already complex structures, how does these leaders look at sustainability to kind of come into the gamut of things and look at that, because that's becoming a very, very important aspect going forward?
Indeed, it is. Thank you for asking that question. That really, whole ESG, sustainability in particular, is the focus today for almost all major companies, including the organizations I work for. So there are 2-3 things here I think we need to understand. One is that why sustainability is important, why are you talking about it, and then what are the challenges, and then how can GCC lead it, right? So the 3 parts, very, very, very loaded question. So the reason it's very important, not because of a lofty ideal that we want to be carbon neutral, we want to save the planet, etc. It is absolutely, it affects the bottom line. It affects the profit margin. Historically, the organizations always have looked at accountants like us, right? Looked at accounts as like, well, this is your revenue, this is your cost. Cost is like historical cost, right? Now, what we are now realizing that historical cost is not the only cost. Now, I'll give an example. For example, McKinsey did a study a couple of years ago. They figured out cost of borrowing of the organizations is substantially lower, and for these organizations, they incidentally have the highest scores in sustainability. So lenders are looking at your balance sheet when they are lending you, and they're giving you favorable terms when we are doing sustainability. That's just one example, right? There are multiple. Investors are looking at it. Regulators are looking at it. It is affecting our bottom line. The challenge is we do not know how. It's not directly. It's not like revenue and cost.
There's no formula which will tell you the...
This is the world we are in, right? And that's where the GCCs come in. So the data are scattered. So there are multiple, there is a plethora of standards, right? IFRS itself has got S1, S2, and I think there are about 70 industry standards, right? And there are a lot more different standards. Europe is really leading it, but other countries are also catching up. Now, if the data are absolutely unstructured, the data are generated at manufacturing plants in China or maybe in Mexico, in all parts of the world, how many million liters of water we are using, right? And these are not financial data. These are all non-financial data. Not that they're not financial in nature, just the unit of measure is not currency, right? And So this becomes extremely important for the organizations to focus on, not only from the reputational risk, but from financial value point of view. Now, why would GCC matter here? So now, who are the best people to deal with this? So there are a couple of things that need to happen here, right? One is that who can handle this data, which are absolutely unstructured, make some sense out of it, report on the parameters, and the standard is evolving. So, this year we report on something, next year we'll be reporting on additionally something more, right? How do you get all the data in? Make sense out of it. Report on the key performance indicators on that. And you need to be expert in data. You need to be, the technology needs to be there to collect the data from around the world. People need to be there to make sense out of it. So GCC sits right there. We have got, I'm an incidental accountant. I'm also, I sit in the regional advisory committee of IMA. But the finance people who have been traditionally doing the financial accounting are really one of the best people to decipher this non-financial data, non-financial just because the currency is not dollar value, right? But it's absolutely financial. The GCCs in this country, Hyderabad, elsewhere in this country, strong network connectivity. We can get data from anywhere in the world. Different organizations, we don't want to name that on the dais, but for a supermarket, the people sitting here in India can control the temperature in the stores and the refrigeration so that the goods don't get spoiled, right? All the census data are coming in here. We have got people who can make sense out of it and report on it. So to me, for GCC, it's an extremely important leverage point as it's evolving that we play a very key role in formulating this and leading this change from here.
Fantastic. I think, thank you. And Sheila, coming to you, if that's what we need to do, how do we look at the leaders who are kind of leading these GCCs in India? Because one of the things after what Swaroop mentioned is to build a story, build a narrative, and then take that out to the world, which is happening through the digital channels today. And today, digital is the way to go. So how do we look at the leaders evolving, using technology for digital technology, which is using sustainability and kind of still managing this whole complexity that kind of is coming up?
Thank you. I think today finance leaders, right, we sit at a crossroad, I feel. I mean, they must digitize and also decarbonize at the same time while carrying their people along with them. For me, I mean, I think it's not the real challenge is not technology, but I think it's the emotional, cultural, and behavioral mindset, the shift that is required. Just looking at the human touch, right? I mean, a little bit of human-centered kind of challenges that I see is fear of obsolescence, right? I mean, when something new comes, transformation technology, which is evolving, and people think, oh, automation is going to replace me, not empower them. That is one of the fear. And change fatigue, right? Continuous transformation, right? I mean, people are tired and skeptical and, protecting their old ways now, I think. Maybe a trust deficit. ESG data, for example, new metrics, new tools. I think all these are creating kind of, scrutiny in accountability and transparency. So to answer the first question. And the second one, I guess, how we are overcoming these challenges, right? According to me, I think we finance leaders are not driving this digitization or sustainability transformation through, not by pushing technology, maybe by kind of inspiring people. So I'm giving more of a human touch here because it's very important. Having said that, I think the real shift happens when they're valued, right? The people are valued and they know that, they're part of the future, changing future. And I think, again, the leaders, I think we address a lot of their fears that they have in their mind and build their skills and create a space for smaller wins that kind of, removes that uncertainty, turns into belief, and then, ultimately it kind of, says that the technology, the transformation is actually ultimately a journey of it's an ultimately a human journey and not a technology one.
Okay. And it's about behavioral change.
Exactly,
Clearly, where
yeah.
the differentiation is going to be happening there. Behavior for individuals, thus leading to behavior for organizations, and then going forward. Keeping in mind the time, I would kind of say that we've talked a little bit about leadership as we kind of went around the panel, from teaching to practicing to making sense out of what needs to be done, and then narrating that and managing the balance. If I can ask very quickly each of you, maybe we'll start with you, Professor. If you were to use just 2 or 3 words to describe what are the skills the leaders of tomorrow, the leaders who are going to be driving this transformation from a finance perspective, if you were just name 2 or 3 skills, what would those be? And we'll just go around with just 2, 3 words of what you think are the most important skills that a leader is going to need.
Yeah, definitely. I think skills in terms of data science is very important for finance leaders. How can you, harvest or harness data? They should have it. I think, understand. And I think, some understanding of all the foundations of, all these innovations happening. For example, they should have clarity in terms of what is the role of a cloud, what is the role of
so let's just keep
IoT.
it to words. So data science, understanding that, clarity.
Clarity in terms of how technology can contribute.
And
is
third
very
one?
important. So, and the third one is information capital, how to
Use
invest.
the
Yeah.
information. Okay. Sheila, for you, what would be the 3 skills or 2 skills?
Again, I'll go back to the human touch, right? For me, it's empathy, storytelling maybe, and change agility, and inspiring the
Which
change.
is kind of the storytelling.
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
You
For
inspire
me, those
through
are the
story.
3 main skill sets. Yeah.
Fantastic. We should stay grounded to being human. Good. Thanks, Sheila. Yes, Swaroop, for you?
So I would say, because we are talking about finance leaders, they already have finance skills, so we are not talking about that. They need to absolutely have the tech skills. There is no doubt about that, right? And the word is changed. The word has totally changed. It's not changing. Change management. Take people along with you. And because we are generating so much data, the new leaders in finance should be able to cut the noise out, to identify the signal from the noise. There's so much data. Only some of them make sense. Connect those dots.
And to you?
Number 1, thought leadership, to think about the future, how I can just leverage and scale up. Number 2, ethical leadership, to manage the data, risk and security management. And number 3 is that data master, means you should just know how to use the data at the right point of time.
Fantastic. For me, it was going to be about ethical, and thank you, you talked about it, because in an ever-evolving world where data is, like you said earlier, is you don't have full clarity on the data. So you can choose to report what you want to report and choose not to report what you don't. So I think ethical, and the other one is about human. So what you talked about, and including the fact that I think finance leaders, I feel, have to become better storytellers, because a lot of what is going on here, outsiders don't understand. So with that, thank you very much to the fantastic panel kind of doing that, and maybe we can take one question. Okay, so Manish has been gracious because he took some of our time away for the centimeter at the beginning, so he's giving us some time. So one question we can take from the audience for any of our members. So we see a hand right at the back. Which side? We'll see who. Sorry.
This is again a question actually addressing more to the professor over there. So you talked about the valuation, and as you know, valuation, the beauty again lies in the eyes of beholder. So what I would like to ask is again, strictly coming from the liberal arts and non-finance and non-tech background. So I mean, a lot has been spoken about the skill gaps and the generic nature of how the academic institutions are lagging behind and not preparing the talent that the industry demands. So strictly speaking, from the general education and the liberal arts point of view, which let's say West has matured so much from that. So the way you have talked about that virtue signaling, because it makes more sense from bottom line. So let's not talk about virtue signaling. You talked about valuation, and also you talked about more than storytelling, it's more about story selling, particularly the finance as a profession. So my simple question, that being the backstory, is what should be the 2-3 skills that a finance professional should have, which again are not cutting from finance or hardcore finance, strictly coming from the T professional background?
Yeah, I think, definitely the core skill a finance professional should have is a great deal of critical thinking. So I think liberal arts really helps in critical thinking more because they have more space to think than an accounting kind of profession. So I think, more and more I think you see that finance professionals, in the real world would be highly multidisciplinary in terms of, definitely finance is very important. They have to learn all those things. And as someone suggested, I think communication becomes a crucial role because, you have this list of investors who value you in the markets. How can you communicate, what is the value? I think that is becoming more, because they are the face in terms of communicating the numbers. I think, and communicating all this information capital becomes crucial for them. So, going forward, the key skill is how to communicate and also how to critically think about what they're communicating.
And if I can add to what Professor said to your question, I think one of the other things people coming from a fine art background can look at is to look at the big picture, look at the white canvas. And every time you're looking at, I think somebody talked about earlier that the focus has to be on the problem you're trying to solve. So don't look at it with some frames. Just look at it with a completely white canvas and probably just think, as he said, critical thinking, think big, think out of the box, whatever the cliche may be, but solve the problem and keep focus on that. I think that could probably be a skill I can add to what Professor said.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you, and thank you to all of the panelists, Swamijit, Swaroop,
Just
Sheila,
more applause.
and Vijay.
I think, again, great intellect on the dais, right? We would love to have probably more discussions amongst this entire group, Vivek, again, right? Yes. Thank you for being here. I'll request Mr. KK Maheshwari to do the honors, and we go one by one. Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, Professor Vijay. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Swaroop. Thank you, Somajit. And the ecosystem builder, thank you, Vivek.
Yeah, I just barged in to share because they are looking at the photographs. This is FTCCI is promoting a dying art. This is called Cherial painting, very close place, and we are reviving that. So these are all beautifully made paintings, which is very close to Hyderabad.
So we'll keep the paintings in the photo this time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. And while we request, I think, warm applause before they move out from this class. Thank you very much. Thank you, Maheshwari sir. I'll request the third panelists and the moderators to be ready. Meanwhile, some of you might still be interested to see where you guys are on the leaderboard. Can you share my laptop? All right, so after that question of GCCs, Bala, you still leading the pack, 2778 points. I'll I don't know what I have next is... all right, no, next is Bala. I think we have a few questions for your polls. So why don't you just come and get your panelists and get the panel discussion going. We're running a little short on time, but I think, Bala, go ahead, 35 minutes. Food can wait for the intellect.
Thank you, Manish. It's working? Yeah. Thank you, Manish. And I believe you had some wonderful panel discussions understanding the different perspectives of the leadership from the GCC front. Probably the time has come for you to little delve into the technology also. The next panel is more about AI, analytics and agility, the new playbook for the global finance operations. We are going to delve into some of the, how we can reimagine these processes, technologies and other things. So first of all, I would like to welcome our first panelist, Sunil Venkatesh. Sunil, if you can kindly come onto the stage. Sunil is a partner at Ernst & Young, associated to the technology consulting business. He has spent over 20 plus years at EY and works extensively with global capability centers to drive digital transformation. He has delivered several large multi-country engagements and his interests in emerging technologies like blockchain, AI, ML, and cloud. Big round of applause for the first panelist. Next, I would like to welcome Rashi Srivastava. Rashi. She's a Chief Digital Officer at Cantily with over 2 decades of experience across network engineering, software development, and global program management, and evolved into a technology and business leader who thrives at the intersection of innovation and impact. As a Chief Digital Officer of Cantily, she is continuously helping organizations bridge the gap between business strategy and technology innovation, delivering impactful solutions across application modernization, digital transformations, and she's also overseeing cross-functional areas such as service delivery, HR, talent acquisition, operations, and finance. Thank you, Rashi, for joining the panel. Our third panelist of the day is Maruti Venkata. Maruti, if you can kindly come onto the dais. Maruti is an Associate Director, Technology at Dihisha, India. Maruti Venkata is heading the technology vertical of Dihisha, India. In his current role, he leads the technical team for large discretionary business unit of the firm and also co-leads the generative AI infrastructure team. And he brings in experience of more than 1.5 decade, in fact, building softwares in asset management, general finance space, including architecting tech infrastructure to power building financial models. And our last panelist of the day, Suman Kumar. Suman, can you kindly come onto the dais? Suman drives the financial control and head of India of APRIL Group, a chartered accountant and company secretary and certified management accountant with over 15 years of leadership experience spanning India, Middle East, Australia. Certification matters here as we look forward to our continued sustainability growth and partnership. Thank you. I believe we have esteemed panelists. Before we get started, I believe let's give a first good round of applause for the panelists. I take the seat. I'm Bala Pitigari, Chief Innovation Officer for the Technology, Software and Services for Tata Consultancy Services. I'm also the Chair for the ICT and Startup Committee at FTCCI. Before I give you the audience poll, and I just want to tell you something that today's GCCs, Global Capability Centers, are no longer cost centers. They are the true value engines. I believe we need to understand that particular fact because they are going to shape the global finance strategy, whatever we are going to witness. So in this particular panel, we are going to witness of the AI, analytics and agility, which are not the real tools, but they are rewriting the very grammar of the finance operations under which we try to operate. It is very, very important and critical for all of us to understand. With that, Manish, I want you to launch the first poll.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
We go back to your mobile phones. This is direct question to you guys. If you can, do name one process ripe for automation in a GCC. This is a free text question. Feel free to add your answers, and we'll see if we can get some of the answers visible here. One process ripe for automation in GCC, FinOps, accounting. I think people are very nice here, Bala. It's a GCC event for finance. So They are answering finance. But within finance, if you have any specific process or within the
Good.
FinOps.
Different perspectives are coming in. I believe panelists also can take a call. You can also vote for it. You don't vote? You're doing it. Good.
Out calling, O2C, that's the order to cash, invoicing, reconciliation, resume filtration, which is the talent part, sales as well for automation, Bala. You could pick up a couple of points from here then in your discussion.
Yes, I certainly wanted to pick it up. You have another Mentimeter question, or do you want to interface it a little later?
You want to do it right now?
Yes.
So thanks for answering this one. There's one more coming for this round. If you can, do you have a charter to deploy Gen AI in your finance team? It's a yes and no. Do you have a charter to deploy Gen AI in your finance team? Yes or no? So a lot of yeses, a few no's as well, and I know why those no's are there, Bala.
Thank you. That sets a real tone, because you see that there are a lot of processes within the financial and accounting areas which will be transforming with the power of AI, analytics, and the kind of an agility what you try to bring into the system. Now, my first question goes to Sunil. So from a consulting lens, what are the top 3 shifts you are seeing and witnessing in GCC finance operations as AI becomes mainstream? Because you have seen Gen AI charter is there with few of the people. Can you share some perspectives on what are the top 3 shifts?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, this works. Yeah, this works now. So, Bala, thanks for that question. And the way I see it is that, I think it's like, it's like earlier, finance professionals were riding bicycles, and now they're riding e-bikes. So, nothing has changed, and yet they're doing everything much faster, right? Everything is moving much quicker, right? And I think that is the big change that AI and Gen AI has brought to finance, right? That said, I think a couple of things I wrote down in terms of what some trends that we are seeing. So the first one is, of course, a shift from automation to intelligence, which is we've spent a couple of years, I would say a couple of decades now, 2 decades maybe, on the RPA journey. Right? In the last decade, actually, we spent a lot of time being very happy about, being able to shift data from column A to column B automatically without, any human intervention. And I think RPA has played its role. And I think there is now a shift towards intelligence. And I think that's a big part of what Gen AI is driving. Right? The second thing I think is that this recognition that Gen AI is no longer a toy. Okay, which, if most CFOs, when Gen AI broke out, I would say, everybody thought it's a great thing to create some content, make some memes about auditors, right? Make some fun of people and things like that.
Right.
But I think Gen AI now is being used quite extensively to do things like summarization, right? So you can review, 200-page contracts and have a view on it. You can look at policies. You can do first cut management reporting, all these kinds of things. So in that sense, it's truly become a teammate, right? And then the third thing that I'm seeing is that, finance silos are getting broken out, right? So we are no longer looking at only P2P or, record to report, right? What we are seeing is that, there are bots that are getting deployed, which are looking at finance data across the board and providing true intelligence to users, right? And so in that sense, it's almost like finance platformization to some extent is happening. I think those are the top 3 trends that we are seeing from our perspective.
Well said. I believe automation to intelligence to autonomous nature. Now, are you seeing this particular shifts evolutionary or disruptive?
Yeah, I think it's evolutionary at this point. I am not sure that we are still there where everything will be automated, and so jobs are still safe, is my view, right? I think that there is a time, there is a time when this will happen, but I think we will have enough time to adjust to this. That said, I think, many people in the previous panel mentioned that we must, focus on upskilling. And that is important, but upskilling was important, even 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. So I think that is something that, is the norm for us to operate.
So according to you, who is doing this right in India?
So I would say that, in the captives, there is a fair amount of work around this, right? Almost everybody has some sort of POC. I think your data also showed this, more than 50% of people in the room, responded that they had a charter around Gen AI. I think everybody you ask here has spent some time with some LLM, right? So in that sense, everybody is experimenting because they need to find the answer. So I can't say that, and the government, right? I mean, there are so many, we are hearing so many cases of, government employees or, administrators taking advantage of, some of these tools available. So I would be reluctant to say that, anybody is not doing it well.
Fair. So it's everyone. Everyone is trying to do it.
Everyone is trying, yeah.
So having said that, thank you, Sunil, for your viewpoints. Now I just want to move the focus to Rashi. Rashi, as a Chief Digital Officer, probably you will be straddled around with the technology and business all the time. What should a GCC finance leader do in the first 100 days of an AI initiative, according to you?
Okay. So I think first 100 days, I'll break it down into strategic framework of 30, 60, 90 days, how we typically start with any technology initiative. Probably first 30 days would be to study and assess the landscape, work on the teams probably who would participate in the initiative, work on the framework. The next 30 days would be to identify a use case, build a governance framework around AI, and build up a team that will work on the POC. The pilot use case. The third phase is actually executing it and then learning from the execution, building up a plan for scaling it. So that would summarize the first 100 days plan, because you have to think like an entrepreneur. You have to start small, prove it, learn, scale. That's how I would say you have to do it.
So pretty methodical in nature, where you're trying to sum it up with study, assess, put the governance in place, scale it up, start small, scale well. Thank you, Rashi. But where do leaders go wrong in this entire journey? Do you spot anything?
Yeah, I think there are more than a couple of things probably where we think one could be, we think technology first, but it's the use case that will get benefited out of the technology. The identification of the use case is the first thing. Where can I apply? The technology comes second. That's the first thing. The second one I would say is the timeline. We underestimate and go with the string. Everybody wants ChatGPT-like results. So you have to ensure that you have proper data in place, you plan it well, you have a proper change management process, you have a structured process, you have to upskill your team members, you should define your success criteria well. Without a goal, you can't achieve. You can't measure and you can't achieve. So I would say those are some of the things where usually we go wrong. We want to try it out and get there first. And there are a lot of memes around saying, okay, Gen AI, everybody wants Gen AI. What is the use case? No one knows, right? So I think these are some of the things people should work on first before they actually say, yes, I want Gen AI or any form of AI. Forget about Gen AI. We are getting into agentic AI, vibe coding, and things like that, right?
Easy to experiment, but difficult to estimate the timelines. Well said. So let's move to Maruti. So Maruti, you normally operate in a very precision-driven financial environment. How do you balance speed and risk when deploying AI models in finance?
Sure. A very good evening to all of you. Honored to be sharing this stage with my co-panelists and also talking to this esteemed audience. I'll just start off with the title of the topic, AI analytics, and this is agility. This is a timely and timeless topic, right? I remember attending a session and doing a talk on AI in finance around 8 years ago. And I'm very sure someone like me would be sitting 1 decade from now and talking about AI in finance again. So this is going to be there, this was there, and this is going to be always there. AI, machine learning, these are areas which thrive on data. And I don't think there is any better area than finance which can offer the velocity, volume, and veracity of data that AI really needs, right? So finance is an area that's really ripe for automation using AI. Now coming to your question, Bala, on speed versus risk in deploying generative AI and AI solutions. It's a double-barrel question. There are two parts to it. The one way to look at this is identify all the aspects that can actually increase the speed of your deployment. Identify all the aspects where there is a lot of risk. Figure out what the mitigation plan should be. Figure out what the contingency plan should be. Now, like Bala said, I've been leading the AI vertical at DE Shaw for the last few years, and all we have done is to shift the gears and work a lot on generative AI in the last 1 year or so. So I'm hopefully trying to distill some of my experiences into some frameworks and guidelines to be able to answer this question and the future questions. On the speed part, I think one thing that has generally worked out very well in my empirical experience is to be able to experiment in a very decentralized fashion. Now, what does this mean? Typically, if you look at any organization, there'll be multiple business units, COEs or like middle office, back office, and so on and so forth. They'll have like logical verticals that are out there. Instead of trying to create centralized units which will work on generative AI, the mantra is to be able to have each business unit work on their own generative AI solutions. And this really works out well because a field like AI and generative AI is not only tech, it needs in-depth and nuanced understanding of your domain. And people who are very close to a business unit will be the one who will be able to bring in that knowledge. When we did this around a year ago, 6 months down the line, we saw that each of the business unit ended up building their own chatbots. So that was the first use case that generative AI really solved. Right? The obvious question that we asked was, why are we even doing this? Everyone is building a same solution across business units. Why don't we centralize this? But over a course of time, what we realized is people who learned generative AI in this process, though it appeared like a duplication of effort, ended up building a lot more nuanced solutions which are very idiosyncratic to their business units. And that has really helped us accelerate building generative AI solutions for the firm. So experimentation in a very decentralized way. Second, trying to pilot your solutions in a very controlled environment. There are a lot of studies that are coming out nowadays. The recent MIT report that most of us would have looked at, even McKinsey's study, which says that firms are able to build a lot of pilot solutions, what we call as MVPs or minimum viable products, but they're not able to move it to enterprise-wide deployments, right? You cannot do enterprise-wide deployments without building any pilots, without building MVPs. Now, the advantage of building pilots or baking that as part of your strategy is that you can learn fast. You can fail fast, you can learn fast. So doing it that way will help you reduce the cost that's associated with failures in future. Last, focus a lot on bringing in high quality data into any solution that you're building. So look, end of the day, like I said, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the fundamental building block for it is data. You cannot ignore it. Spend a lot of time there. If you're able to get it totally right, then bringing in tech to be able to build solutions will become much easier. That's the speed part. On the risk part, following are my takeaways. One, try to have a very clear observability framework. You should be able to know what are things that are going wrong at what point in time. Have clear data lineage, have clear data observability baked into your products. Second, never forget that we always need to have human in the loop, right? I cannot afford to have a generative AI solution go and trade in market without any human intervention. That's likely going to be catastrophic for me. So bake in human in the loop as a fundamental building block in whatever solutions that you're building. Third, focus on incremental rollouts. Don't go all in, trying to bring in everything into your production grade deployments. Try to do it in phases. As long as you're able to do these things, I think the high risk associated with trying to bring in a solution to market in one go is reduced to a large extent.
Beautifully articulated, Maruti. I believe balancing the speed and the risk whenever you're trying to do the Gen AI rollouts or anything in the production, especially for the finance domain, is very, very critical. But tell me, what governance model actually works here?
Yeah, that's a very excellent question, right? So my experience, so we have been thinking about this a lot in the firm that I work at, and also some of the other advisory board positions that I'm associated with. What has really worked out is a multidisciplinary framework that's rooted and anchored in cross-functional facets. What I mean by that, there are multiple parts to it. One, whenever you're building in any AI solutions, machine is taking control of what you're going to do, always have an oversight committee. And this oversight committee shouldn't be only tech people. it has to be people across functions. I need to have my legal guy, I need to have my compliance person, I need to have my tech person, I need to have my finance person as part of this committee. They bring in diverse thoughts, they bring in expertise from their functions to be able to say if a product is doing the right thing or not from a governance perspective. Second, a comprehensive policy framework. And this policy framework has to be rooted, has to be aligned with the global data regulations. Right? I cannot do anything which is in contravention to data regulations that the local countries actually have. Third, try to define the roles and responsibilities very, very clearly. You cannot afford to have any kind of abstractness there. I need to know who is the person I should be catching if something goes wrong. I need to know who is the person who is accountable for driving certain aspects. Next, you need to have a very clear life cycle management for your applications, right? You need to have your monitoring in place. You need to have your dashboards which can alert me in real time when something goes wrong, so that I have people who can take actions as quickly as possible, right? And lastly, don't think of risk as an afterthought when you're building a product. Risk management has to be baked into your product life cycle from day one. As long as you're thinking of risk as an inherent part of your product development, you will be able to handle with clear mitigation and contingency strategies. So all these aspects have to be baked into governance framework that any firm is going to deploy for all of their AI products.
So guys, I just want to iterate the fact the kind of a coverage he has given really entails us to the thought that traditional operating model, it garners applause to him. Definitely, you can take a chance to give him a claps. I believe every organization need to really focus back onto their operating models. Traditional operating models may not work. You need to really transform your operating models covering this AI governance, which will really help you to do the things. Having said that, let me move this to Suman. Suman, from controller's viewpoint, how is AI reshaping the month-end close, risk controls, and statutory reporting, according to you?
Firstly, I want to say that there is no more traditional controllership. The days are gone. Now we should be called controllers as a strategic finance controllers.
Strategic finance controllers.
Because agility is the today's norm for every business. And financial controllers are becoming a strategic partners. From traditional roles to insights. We are the first base, whoever they depend, because the accuracy is the most important aspect, and managing things on time. So being a strategic partners, closing month ends and all these are traditional which we can automate, and everyone is automating. The only thing which we can add value from controllership perspective is strategic advice. That comes from analytics. So I take this liberty to reframe this topic from, instead of agility, AI, analytics and agility, I talk it as agility, AI and analytics. Because agility is the new norm where we are trying to find solutions with the help of tools like AI. It can be anything.
Absolutely.
Some may talk it as automation, some may talk it about intelligent automation or whatever the stuff. End result is we are trying to find a solution and what great insights we can give to all our stakeholders. So month-end closing we can automate, and we are automating, and we reduced from days to hours today. The other thing is we are moving from detection to prevention. So we adopted few called micro agents, as we say that Gen AI, whatever stuff you say, that agent which we are, because we do a lot of cross-country intercompany reconciliation, because I have seen many answers over there, but no one pointed out the intercompany reconciliation, which is the major risk area where everyone has to address about. So that's the area we are trying to address, and we achieved 60% output out of that. So there now we are trying to analyze before what is happening, and we are moving from what happened to what is going to happen. That is from month-end perspective. And next, coming to a risk, we are trying to adopt all controllers are working to identify the risk when we do the regular KYC compliance, contract management, because end of the day, revenue recognition matters and payment matters and all the terms matters and cash flow management matters. We are the custodians of that, but still there is no custodian concept now. We are only strategic partners.
Strategic partners.
And coming to audit, we are earlier preparation of financial statements, all these are manual stuff. Today it's just a download. But about the reporting structure, how best we can present to the stakeholders. It can be internal stakeholders or external stakeholders. So there we have to give the comfort to the auditors where we can complete our audit in 20 days rather than months, so that we can focus on our most important areas where we have to add value. And business is an agile in nature, which has to be speed, accurate and adaptable. Unless that is done, we cannot, as a controllers, cannot add value. So now the finance function is moving from traditional to strategic in nature, and it's keep on evolving. I say, we are all talking about what happens for finance jobs. Finance jobs will not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because we are in the just a cycle of uptrend for the AI evolution. We are talking, many years we are talking about, but still we didn't evolve in such a way. And business are becoming complex day by day. As Sunil told that, Sunil initially told that the CFO, what he is being 20 years back is different from today. And it will change more and more. Because the business dynamics are changing, globalization, economic trends, and as a controller is no more a controller. Again, I am pitching again because we are a strategic partners.
Thank you.
And we create the base for all FP&A teams together. And they also start coming to us for any point. And before they come back, if we provide insight, that's a great advantage. And we find, as a controllers can find place at the decision table instead of back office. This is what I want to.
I think in a panel it is very difficult to control the controller.
Obviously, and we should not because we are the compliance partners, right?
Thank you, Suman. I believe in the interest of time, I just want to move to Sunil. I want this particular round to be a little more crisper in your responses. Yeah. Since you brought in someone brought in a point that finance role is getting transformed and changing. Our GCC is ready. Sunil, this question is for you. Our GCC is ready for Finance 3.0. What new capabilities like LLM ops, model assurance, citizen developers become core?
Yeah, so I think, GCCs are, I think they're getting ready, right? Finance 3.0, we are at that phase where, somebody's made a decision that they want to run a marathon, right? But they bought the shoes, they downloaded the app, they told all their friends, but they still haven't run the marathon, right? I think we are at that stage where we are saying that we'll figure out how to work in 3.0, how we will adopt some of these technologies, but I don't think they're ready. I think from a role perspective, the new roles that I see happening, I would say two, right? And, I think Professor Vijaya mentioned one of them, which was finance technologist, right? That we don't necessarily need MBA finance people who are great with numbers, but we need people who are able to do, who are able to interpret output that is coming from these models, right? So in that sense, a finance technologist role, I think that is something that is definitely going to turn up. The other one, you mentioned about audit, right? And I think that, internal audit in the form of model assurance. So I see a model assurance type role turning up because there is so much data that is going to get pushed into these models. And, you want to ensure that the output is not, hallucinating. And so in that sense, you need some degree of model assurance. I think those are some new roles that I see happening. And I think that finance technologist ties into the concept of a citizen developer in that sense.
Perfect. Please make a note of this role transitions, role transformations, new roles emerging in this space. This takes me to the new future outlook of this particular industry. So where is AI taking finance next, Maruti? So is it autonomous reconciliation, predictive controls, real-time books, or something bigger? What is your perspective? Give a very crisp 30 seconds.
Sure, I know. We have already run out of the time, so I'll try to keep it very succinct, hopefully. big picture, I would say I have a very strong belief that next few years, hopefully half a decade, we're going to see a lot of AI agents out there. Lot of AI agents. And
AI
very
agents.
niche, specific agents which are going to automate your workflows, right? And these agents, the big thing that they're going to do is eliminate the emotion that humans come with. I'll just share a very small anecdote and maybe I'll end there as an answer to your question. I'm in a firm which indulges in a lot of market finance and trading and whatnot. A lot of times when we do retrospection of what went wrong in some of our trades, we realize that it's the emotion associated with a trader which led them to either sell things much earlier than they should have or buy things at a much higher price. Machines will never have emotions. So if I can have an agent which is able to do everything that a human can do and in a much better way, and by better I mean faster, without bringing in the baggage of emotions, I have a perfect recipe for success.
So it's more of a fact-driven than the emotion-driven. Well said, Maruti. To Rashi, over to you. If you had to bet on one AI capability that will define GCC finance in 2030, what it will be?
So the GC finance, the GCCs are evolving and they are no more the cost centers. How it's going to evolve, it will become the AI center of excellence and will export AI solutions from India. So this will be the decision-making firm. And I think we have to get ready. Things are already getting in an autonomous fashion. So by 2030, one thing that I can bet is that there will be systems, autonomous systems that would be capable of making decisions within defined parameters. For example, I don't know how many, I'll just ask one question and probably Manish don't hate me for this. This is for the audience. There's one company that has got into the records for making the insurance settlement very fast. I'll not tell you how fast this was. This is a question for you guys. How fast do you think was the insurance settlement made within weeks? Hours?
Minutes?
Hours?
1 hour?
1 hour?
60 minutes, sir?
Seconds?
90 seconds?
Seconds? So it's 3 seconds.
My God.
Yes, Lemonade is the insurance company that was able to do it with all the agentic AI implementation in place. So there are already, this advancement is already happening. And as we go towards 2030, my bet will be the mundane task. Yes, we are looking at it. They're already getting automated, like my fellow panelist just said. And someone earlier said that we are moving from efficiency and productivity gains to intelligence. We'll move to autonomous systems that will be capable of making decisions, of course, with defined parameters, with human in loop and things like that. But they will be able to do, say, adjustments of pricing strategy, negotiating contracts. If something goes wrong, some vendor did not do the payment, how is it impacting all the entities globally? It will start adjusting and maybe adjust the cash flow management, reallocating budgets to different entities. So all these things, we'll start seeing them happening in an autonomous fashion.
So one capability, it's finance operations will be autonomous for sure. Thank you, Rashi. So that brings to Suman. Suman, 30 seconds, please. How do you see the role of finance controllers evolving in AI native world?
So they are moving from compliance custodians to value architects in simple statement. 15 seconds.
Fantastic. Now controller is totally controlled. So let's go to the very rapid fire questions. Okay. One word questions. So anyone can pick it up according to your wish. One finance task AI will eliminate. Sunil.
Reconciliation.
Reconciliation. Fantastic. One skill every finance professional must learn.
Prompt engineering.
Prompt engineering.
That's the new Excel.
New Excel. Very nice. One myth about AI in finance. One myth.
I think AI will replace you. AI will replace your team. That's a
Okay.
big myth.
AI will never replace you. AI will replace people who knows AI. The AI will, yeah, who don't know AI. That's right. Thanks for the correction. One bold prediction. One bold prediction for AI in GCC by 2030.
Like I said, I think.
It should be much beyond that. Bold prediction means.
So like I said, GCCs will start exporting AI solutions. It'll no more be cost centers. It'll actually be the hub of innovation.
I think they are the true value engines, what it will really transform. I would say, let me sum up this particular panel. Thank you. We have a possibility of a question? No. Probably. So let me take this opportunity to wrap up this. The GCC of the future will not be measured by the cost savings, but by strategic intelligence, autonomy, and speed, and also balancing the risk. AI and analytics are not the future of finance, they are the new operating systems under which we need to operate and thrive. Definitely we'll take it up. Let's build GCCs that lead the transformation, not follow it. With that note, I sum it up and hand it over, but there is a gentleman who has a question.
We'll take it in the dinner session.
We can take up in the break, sir.
Yeah, thank
in
you.
the interest of time. Okay. We have a president approval so that we can take up the question.
Sir, I'm Raju Krishnan, ex-banker and forex consultant. I am very happy with this panel. They're more talking about the reconciliation, risk management, how the dealers or the people are buying without knowing the timing, buying or selling and all. Okay. I have found that in most of the, particularly in the dealing rooms in banks and companies and big corporates and all, they follow the management parameters. Because one of the gentlemen told that the management parameters, they should function within the limit, okay? But there are cases where the element of wrong timing by the dealers or the people in the finance